When we think of the group Europe, we tend to think of this iconic riff. But behind the synths and the spandex were two seriously underrated guitar players, Norum and Kee Marcello. Today we're taking a look at what made them so different and why they deserve far more credit than they get. Norum was Europe's original guitar hero, and as a founding member, he helped shape their early sound. He had a blend of hard rock and heavy metal that stood out on the albums Wings of Tomorrow and The Final Countdown. Influenced by guys like Gary Moore, Ritchie Blackmore, Michael Schenker, and others, his playing was raw, explosive, and melodic. Now, some of my favorite Norum techniques can be found in the solo to The Final Countdown. He starts off with a really cool arpeggio run before going into a fantastic bluesy lick. Now I'm going to play part of the solo to Scream of Anger off Europe's first album, Wings of Tomorrow. It's got a completely different style than what we normally associate with, say, the sound from The Final Countdown. Now, Norum's tone consisted of big Marshall amplifiers, high gain, classic delays, just a big fat sound that only a Marshall cranked up can provide. But in 1986, just as the band was starting to really take off with the release of the Final Countdown album, he felt the guitars were being buried in favor of a more synthesized, polished sound. And that's when John bailed.
What is your relationship to The Final Countdown today, now?
You mean the album or the song?
The song, actually.
The song. Yeah, you know, I mean, I wasn't crazy about it when I first heard it. I mean, when I heard the demo, because I just thought it was too much synthesizer, you know, keyboard stuff in there, and it wasn't really. And I was more like a hard rocker, you know. I wanted it to be, you know, heavy guitars and stuff like that. So, but after a while, it grew on me, got better, and now I actually like the song a lot more than I did back then in the 80s, so I enjoy playing it now, you know, because we are a much better band now and much better players, so we can groove, we get it's a totally different groove now in the song than it was back then, you know. So, and live, it sounds quite powerful too, you know. It's much heavier live than on the studio album, which has kind of a slick production, you know, lots of echo and reverb and stuff like that.
This is where Kee Marcello comes in. Late 1986, Kee Marcello joined Europe and was the perfect replacement guitar player based on the direction that Europe was heading in. He was flashy, he was polished, he's everything that Europe wanted at the time. Now, Kee came from a more technical background. Think kind of like Joe Satriani meets George Lynch. Fast legato runs, precise picking, crazy two-handed tapping techniques, just a really fantastic technical player. Now, where Norum tended to be more rough and bluesy, Kee was more technical and precise. And he brought a more radio-friendly sound to Europe during that time period. Now, the solo from Let the Good Times Rock is one of my favorite Kee Marcello solos. In it, he utilizes more of a major scale tonality than a minor. He's got unbelievable picking chops in it, as well as fantastic legato technique. Now, Kee was no stranger to finger tapping as well. He utilized some really cool techniques, just like in this part of the solo to More Than Meets the Eye. Now, Kee Marcello's tone, in contrast to John Norum's, was definitely a lot more polished and produced. He embraced rack gear, he embraced lots of delays and heavy choruses. Now, while a lot of fans missed Norum's grit, there's no denying that Kee Marcello brought some serious chops and songwriting skills to Europe. So who is better, John Norum or Kee Marcello? I guess that depends on your perspective. John Norum gave them their hard rock start. Kee Marcello helped Europe ride the wave through the late 1980s. Both are killer in my opinion. While they were both opposite in their styles, they both left a massive mark on the music that they played. John Norum actually rejoined Europe in the 2000s, and the two guys have actually shared the stage side by side a few times. Two phenomenal players, two different eras, one band. Who do you prefer, John Norum or Kee Marcello? Drop me a comment down below and let me know who your favorite Europe guitar player is. If you found value in this video, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't already done so, hit that subscribe button. And until next time, keep rocking on.